Trustee Floyd?
Here.
Trustee Griffin? Trustee Schaefer?
Present.
Trustee Morton?
Here.
Trustee Ohm?
He may be here
Recording
late.
in progress.
He's coming. He's on his way. So.
There's nothing to disclose from closed session. Any changes to the agenda?
Sorry, I was just on mute. I just wanted to report that I am present, but I can't be an official attendee today.
Thank you.
Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Student Trustee Otney?
Yes.
Trustee Floyd?
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer?
Yes.
Trustee Morton?
Yes. Public hearing. We have a public hearing for sunshining items to be negotiated between.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry. I should have pulled that from the agenda. The MTA is not ready to sunshine, so
Okay.
we're gonna wait until November to do that.
All right.
Sorry about that.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, could I have a second?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Student Trustee Otney?
Yes.
Trustee Floyd?
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer?
Yes.
Trustee Morton?
Yes. Okay, reports. Max, do you have a report?
I do have a report. The first one of the year, based on student input, I sent out a Google form to the Mendocino High School ASB, Associated Student Body Officers, for them to give some feedback on how things have been going so far. I posed a question about this year's Homecoming Spirit Week, and 36% of respondents believe the juniors will take this one home. Another 36% believe the seniors will take it home. 9% are with the sophomores, and 18% are with the freshmen. I also posed a question to volleyball, soccer, and cross-country athletes about what their highlight of the season so far has been. And I got beating AV 3-0 in volleyball, having only one loss for the whole season. Goals: our first big tournament in Santa Rosa, being undefeated. Exercise: winning 3-0 against Anderson Valley. Everything is perfect. And the highlight was when we won our first home game for league. That was pretty epic. That's the results of my survey. I don't really have anything else to share. Spirit Week's going well so far. Yeah.
Thank you. Tobin.
Unfortunately, volleyball dropped games to Laytonville and Anderson Valley last night to basically give Anderson Valley the championship, which is fine. We're a young team. They're a young team. Lots of good volleyball in the future there, but that was a heartbreaker for the girls. So I was asked to do a presentation on college and career readiness programs, and so I'm happy to present that tonight. And when I really started looking at this, there were actually many different ways that we approach this. We actually do have a program that's a curriculum that we do all 4 years in different ways. But we also, of course, have our courses that we offer, which include both career pathways through our CTE and also dual enrollment, which is basically getting students started in college while they're in high school. And like I said, we have our own, we do have a college and career readiness curriculum that we do, and we also have advising and support. The first one is just the program that we offer, is a college prep program. So let's talk about that first. This is, if you go on the CMP, the A through G college portal for the UC system. You'll see all our classes. Almost all of our classes are on our A through G. There's a few that are not. The culinary classes, a couple of the woodshop classes, computer programming, but all the other ones are A through G approved, so almost every class that students take here is somehow preparing them to be college ready. We still offer AP courses. A lot of schools are going just to dual enrollment, but we have a healthy amount of both for a small school. So we have the 2-year sequence for AP English. We have environmental science, calculus, and a studio art that's not offered every year, but maybe every other or every 3 years or so. On top of that, we have our, go to the next slide. We have our career pathways, of course, which you guys know about, which are the CTE pathways in 6 different areas. And we also offer, on the next slide, our, our dual enrollment or early college program. Basically, an early college program allows students to graduate with 12 units of college credit. We can have students graduate with close to 40 units if they take full advantage of our program. And that's not in addition to the SPAD classes, which are the classes they take outside of our program. So there are several pathways in the dual enrollment program. There's the KAKX or the transfer pathway. So we choose those classes to check off different boxes on the transfer if you're transferring from community college into a UC or CSU. But we do have a couple career pathways that we do through the college as well, although you'll see that some of those also are transferable more largely with just the CSUs. There's a work experience units that students can earn for their jobs. The freshmen take a career planning and success course they can get college credit for. Our woodworking are not A through G. One of them is fine arts, but our woodworking classes, 2 of them are Mendocino College classes. And we just started this year a patient care pathway that K-8 teacher Laura Lucier is doing in a 0 period in the mornings. But this semester is a medical terminology class, and next semester will be EMS class. And so those actually are transferable, but are more thought of for us as a career pathway for someone that could take those 2 classes, could then take an EMT class and be pretty much readily employable. So we developed that pathway based on that need. That's basically our program that we offer that prepares students for college, but in terms of how do we help them get to the career, the college that they want to go to, we have other programs that we do. So the college and career planning curriculum is loosely modeled around something called Get Focused, Stay Focused. Sometimes we call it that, but it's a program that is employed by a lot of schools throughout California. And it focuses in the 9th grade on 3 basic questions. Who am I? What do I want? And how do I get it? So they look at careers, and they do a lot of different surveys. On the next slide, you'll see some of the things that they do. They take surveys, look at what they might be interested in, and start matching those to careers, and you match those careers to majors and colleges. But they also do things like looking at, well, how expensive is it to live somewhere? What does it cost to go to college? Some of those sort of life skills. Ultimately, they end up with a plan for their future where they've thought about who they are, what they want to do, and how they might go about actually getting that done. Each year, there's a couple of follow-up module each semester just to keep students thinking about that and checking back and exploring different options that are out there, whether that's careers that have high growth potential or STEM careers. So they'll keep doing that in the 10th grade and the 11th grade. And then, of course, by senior year, they're kind of finishing that up, but they're also starting to apply for colleges and trade schools and things like that. Some other structures that we have in place, so that is a curriculum that they step through. We have our personal success period, which meets twice a week. Those advisors are the same advisors they meet with at the beginning of the year to help schedule classes, so there can be ongoing conversations with those advisors. That's where the follow-up modules happen, is in that PSP period. There can be interventions and academic mentoring that's going on during that time as well. A new initiative that we have started this year is the CCGI. It's now required of all high schools, so we got in kind of right before it became a requirement. Pretty much every student is onboarded on that, and they will be using that more and more, starting with that freshman life choices class, that the Get Focused, Stay Focused class. And it has a lot of the same career surveys and personality surveys. So they'll start doing all those on this platform, which then points them towards majors and programs and colleges, which they can like those colleges or like those majors. The nice thing is we can run reports and see like how many students are interested in going into nursing or being an architect. And then we can bring people in based on the data that we gather off of this program. The other nice thing about it, if we go back one, you can actually, it's a jumping off point to apply to CSUs and UCs, and it's also a jumping off point to apply to the FAFSA. So it's sort of a one-stop platform for getting students into college and career opportunities. So that's a new thing that'll kind of be throughout all those programs. We do a lot of Mendocino College hosts College Day visits. So there's one on the coast campus. There's one in Ukiah that the students just went to. That was just a couple days ago. Those pictures right there. They were able to interact with like 25 different colleges. So those are things that our partners at Mendocino College offer us. Great opportunities. And next slide. Not sure. And there's other chances students get as well. Even AE Week is part of this. It allows students to go on college tours. That students might go and shadow someone and see if they, do I really want to be a dentist? And go work with their uncle who's a dentist for a week, kind of thing. So AE Week even kind of ties into student exploration for college and career. Of course, we offer SAT and PSAT on campus. It used to be you'd have to go somewhere and take the SAT. Now we do SAT school day. It's within the school day. It's not on the weekend. It's easily accessed. It's all paid for. So we give students a chance to support them in that. Even though colleges aren't requiring that these days, there are some privates that are starting to ramp back up with the SAT. AP exam opportunities, whether it's the ones through our classes or ones that they want to challenge. Max was very successful at challenging one that even though we didn't have the class for, a lot of times like native Spanish speakers will challenge a test, native speakers will challenge a test. So we provide that. There's other things, for example, essay support in English classes. So when you really start looking at it, there's a lot happening at different places throughout the school. Okay. And so then we also, of course, we have Annie Inez. It's her first year as the academic counselor. She's doing a wonderful job just educating herself and diving right into it and just taking on things as they come up. And then Derek does that, wears that hat as well at the community school, counseling the students down there. So some of the things that we see here, this was that also yesterday? I was like, maybe the Mendocino College one was 2 days ago. I think this one might have been yesterday. This is a gentleman from UC Berkeley just presenting to students in the library. I think it was during 6th period or 5th period. And so they'll get a lot of people coming in and through the campus. But in August, everyone meets with either their advisor or the counselor. All the seniors meet with the counselor, but Anna will also push into the life choices classes, talk about college, introduce students to dual enrollment, get them onboarded in freshman year. Senior year, of course, it really ramps up. On the next slide, they all get an individualized senior meeting, not with their advisor, but with the counselor to make sure that they're in the correct courses. And then throughout the year, there's parent workshops to help with college applications, with the FAFSA. Sometimes presenters come in and do the Cash for College nights. Presenters from colleges will come in and help parents with that FAFSA. Of course, now it's even easier with the CCGI. And then during PSP, there's weekly workshops available to students. I know last year the students jumped all over those. I don't know this year what the attendance has been like. I know you've been to a few. Yeah. So there you can see a list of some of the things that they go over as the different applications come up. The Common App, the CSU. Later in the year, there'll be community colleges and support and things like that. And then, of course, starting in around January, there's the financial aid, which is now open. There'll be a night for that. But we also support with local scholarships, so that starts in earnest more in January and February, those being due in March, May. And so Anna and Noah will work with all the students, matching them with scholarships and really helping them through the process. Something we've really upped. It used to be sink or swim. Here they are, apply, may the best person win. Now we're giving everyone that equal playing field, equal opportunity to get the support they need to send in a good application. A little bit of data. Despite all of that, it's kind of interesting. Despite all of that, our A through G readiness is on a steady decline. So you can see we were up above 70%, and now we are in the high 40%. And so I think there's a few explanations for that. One is that, notice the presentation is college and career readiness. I think there are a lot more students that are open to going to community college and taking alternate routes. If you look at the next slide, the next slide just breaks down the demographics a little bit here. So you can see how, it's declined across, not so much in some categories, but it's declined. So I'd say the low Hispanic Latino rate is concerning. We'd want to, raise that up. If you look at this, next slide, this is the state dashboard indicator. It's going the other way. So so we have fewer A through G eligible students, but we have an increase in college and career ready. So when you look at the big picture, we're actually going up. We're kind of where we were 3 years ago with the CCI is now at 70%. But obviously students are finding alternate ways to be college and career ready. Whether that's saying they're happy to go the community college route and not worry about taking whatever A through G class they need to take to be considered eligible. I'd have to look and see if any of that is skewed by college classes that are not, where we could, every once in a while we get a student who is A through G eligible only because they took a college class that's not on their transcript, which could skew that a little bit. But otherwise, kind of interesting that despite all this increased focus and the increased number of college credits that students are getting, where it's actually the A through G rate's actually going down. So, any other questions on that? Yeah, you can go back to the end slide. That's just the extra if it comes up.
I think I've been reading that there are various CSUs that are partnering with local school districts and guaranteeing every graduate admission without an application.
Yeah, Sonoma did that because they're hurting, you know? Yeah.
Is that something that we would be eligible for?
Yeah, I think anyone, you know,
I mean,
in the
I know
state.
some of the
Yeah,
some of the CSUs are only
in their
certain
region.
schools that are
Yeah.
eligible.
Yeah, like we would definitely be like in Sonoma State's region to do that.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And HSU too, maybe. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd have to have one of the counselors like speak more
I've heard that for
in
ages.
depth on that, but Humboldt does have a program with us where they will easily sign students up. Like you show up to this event and you're like enrolled.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, basically. So I don't want to say too much because I don't know all the details on that, but you're absolutely right that some of those state schools have programs, especially for the regions that they serve, where it's a lot easier for students to get in there. And I think we've had students that have been like, I don't know, and then like, oh, I'm going to go to Humboldt. You know, I'm going to do that.
No, I think
know?
reducing the
Yeah.
barriers between, you know, the anxiety or the financial or whatever barrier
Right.
you have about, you know, going to college
Yeah,
is part of what makes, you know, if it makes it easier to make that decision, you know, let's
Right.
help that. You know?
and that's partially why I'm not sure. Obviously, I'd like the A through G rate to be higher. You know, like that's dipped fairly low, and I'd maybe have to look at it just to see if there's some weird data thing that's going on there. Obviously, I'd like that to be higher. It's not necessarily a concern because we're also at the same time messaging that there's a lot of different ways to get there. You know, whether it's community college or you know some other route. So, so I agree that. Yeah, removing barriers is good.
And I think other schools I've heard of require applying to FAFSA.
Mhm.
You know, you can't graduate if you haven't filled out your FAFSA.
The state wants everyone to apply for FAFSA.
And the logic being, again, if you see in black and white that college is affordable, you're less
Yeah.
likely to say, I don't want to go to college.
Yeah,
And where are we on that?
that's one place where the CCGI comes in. So we will know, like, who's done their FAFSA. So we'll be able to track that. Whereas before, it's like, how do we know?
Right.
Right? So, so that is one of the utility of the CCGI is we can try to get everyone signed up on the FAFSA. We can track like the applications that are being turned in for colleges, things like that. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they want everyone to apply for the FAFSA.
And really, you know, the way the scholarship system seems to work is that, you know, your aspirations at the highest will be rewarded the best if you're successful. You know, that if you go to, I mean, if you're a financially deserving student and you go to Stanford or Harvard, the chances of you getting 100%, you know, scholarship are very high if your income is below $100,000. And so, you know, that's something that is probably not as widely known as it could be.
Yeah, I think the privates definitely tend to have better financial aid. You know, some have that cut off at 200,000 and, you know, and there's barriers that people run up against, like, you know, assets like a rental property or something like that could be a challenge.
Right.
So it's not always, you see that, oh, if we make under 200 grand, it's not necessarily that way. But yeah, absolutely with the privates, that sometimes they have better financial aid than the state schools. So it's definitely worth giving it a shot and seeing what they offer. Rather than just saying, oh, it cost 80 grand a year to go there, no way, right? So,
I mean, is the Common App still a thing for private schools?
yeah.
So, I mean, it's
Max is doing all this stuff right now. Max
I
should
could-
probably answer your questions better
I could
than
actually
me.
probably,
Yeah.
I mean, from my experience looking at the FAFSA results for schools I applied to, pretty much across the board, the private schools are giving more money, even if they start at a higher place.
right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's, yeah, definitely. Even though the cost of education is going up, what people are paying has actually gone down if you look at it at, whatever year dollars,
I mean, it's
So-
one of the things where the sticker price means less than almost anything else I think people buy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So what does the UC system cost these days?
Do
you have a number off the top of your head? 25 grand a year?
It depends on your housing,
Housing,
and such, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I'd
think
say-
you could easily spend like 19 on
Yeah,
room and board.
Tuition, I
and-
think, was a little below 20,000 for a lot of them. Or it might
Yeah,
have been
like
around
14,
that.
15 or
Yeah.
something like that. So
And
30, 35 full cost, but, average is a lot lower.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Berkeley, it was like $800 a year
Yeah.
in college.
Yeah.
The room was like 2,000 a year.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, there's
But the point is,
inflation,
we're
but.
old.
What?
We're old and
Yeah, we
things
are old.
change.
Yeah.
Things change, but it just,
Right. Right.
When I went to graduate school, it was $750 a quarter.
And guess what community college is a semester? $850, for a full load of classes. So, it is appealing. And that's one thing with the dual enrollment is, so dual enrollment was actually started in the civil rights era in New York City. I think it was City College, which was in the middle of Harlem, was like 90-something% white. And so people are, basically the black community was like, well, how come we're not in here? And the dean or the president of the time, I guess, took a look at what was happening in Columbia at that time, which was like full occupation by students. I was like, well, I don't want to mess around here. And so, opened up all the doors and to black students who did not perform well. And so the dual enrollment system started to try to create a way for students to be successful. For black students who had no exposure, didn't know what college was going to be at this time. And so they started on high school campuses offering college classes so that students could get used to what a college was like and be more successful. So that apparently came out of City College of New York. So there was a woman that was responsible for kind of getting that going. So one thing with our dual enrollment programs that sometimes we lose sight of because the high achieving students often access it is that really we want our students that maybe don't see themselves as being college students accessing those classes, gaining some confidence, being like, well, actually, I already have 10 units of college credit. I could go get, more, get an AA or go farther. The community college, across California, across the nation, have lost sight of that. They will admit we have lost sight of the dual enrollment programs across the nation have lost sight of that, and they will admit, we are being accessed more by high achievers than being a tool for equity. And so that's something we should be working on is how do we make dual enrollment something to pull students up and not accelerate students that are already up here. So that's a good goal to work on.
Does the high school have some way of keeping up with changing career opportunities? Because it seems to me that in the next decade, you're not going to be able to imagine what the careers are 4 years before
Right.
you decide what direction to go.
Yeah,
Like they're saying, there's not going to be anybody coding 1 year from now,
right.
and so on.
Yeah, and so a couple things about that. We do try to respond to things, but it's like a big ship turning a big ship. There's a lot of inertia. But for example, that patient care pathway, we saw that a lot of the students that we were trying to reach through CTE programs that weren't necessarily using those for springboards into careers were getting really turned on by the first responders AE week trip. And they were all of a sudden riding ambulances and getting jobs, And so that was one reason we wanted to provide that because it's high demand. They can work here, they can work anywhere. So we can respond like that. But and I actually put some slides up here because I knew this might come up, okay? So if we go back to that last two slides, the big, like a big question I think is like AI, right? Because you're saying like programming. And, you know, I think there's some early data out there that the job replacement isn't as like big as they thought it might be. I think that's out there. So, you know, what do you do to respond to that? Like, what do you train people for, whether it's AI or anything else? There's a couple of things that are not going to be replaced necessarily, and that's like critical thinking and creativity. You're going to still need people to think of the things to do with the AI, right? And you're going to still need critical thinking because even the programming, where it can definitely save people hiring people out to write programs write code for whatever they need. They can plug it all into ChatGPT and get it, but they have to go through and then make it actually work, you know, actually do exactly what they want it to do. So you still need skills, but the other one is like digital fluency, like understanding how do you leverage the tools that we have. You know, obviously you could go and work in AI, but that'll probably change too. But just having digital fluency. So one thing, like I think we do critical thinking and creativity pretty well here. I think that's built into our culture a lot. But we are actually working on adding an AI readiness and fluency component. So we're going to start rolling this out to staff actually next week. Me, Diana Dominguez, and Megan Miller went to a training that the county put on in Fort Bragg, and we actually like adopted a trial framework for AI readiness and fluency, and it's kind of based on knowing, like, number one, being able to identify it, being able to determine the quality of the product you're getting from it, and then knowing how to leverage that to your advantage. And so like on the next slide is just an example of one of the, so this is like the basics. So they actually have it split up by grade level of what they think students should know at different grade levels. So we're gonna kind of roll this out and then maybe in the second half of the year, try to insert it a little bit into classes here and there and just kind of see what happens. But there's, you know, there's questions that you probably haven't thought about with AI, or maybe you have. There's everything from the environmental aspect of generating an AI picture to looking at, you know, equity issues around what AI generates, things like that. So there's lots of different ways that we can train students to be a little more critical and fluent in the tools that they're using. So yeah, I don't think you can't train someone for a job you don't know, but if they're critical thinkers, they're creative, and they understand the digital landscape and how it's good and how it's not good, I think that's a start.
Great.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Very much.
Yeah.
How are you doing over there, Mark? Do you want to carry on?
Sure. I guess we're up to Jason.
Let's do we should probably do the public comment first. It's 5:00.
Oh, okay. Is there anybody here who has any comments on anything not on the agenda or online?
I see no one online.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to point out a couple things one thing in the consent agenda, the grant, the grants that our staff have received. The Community Foundation of Mendocino for $6,500 and the Redwood Connects grant from Jordan West. So that's $12,000 that he received for sixth grade field trips and programs, and then Timey got another $7,500 for the wood shop. So this is the second year in a row that those two staff members have brought in a sizable amount of money. That's fantastic. Just wanted to point that out. A couple numbers for you. Our current enrollment is 413 in the district. 14 years ago, we were at 550. 14 years before that, we were at 1,000, I think. So we are definitely declining. Our current chronic absenteeism rate in the district is 19%, which is better than in past years. So hopefully we can keep that number. Just want to report on Greenwood Preschool. We are up and running out at Greenwood, and we're just waiting for an environmental health permit, but that should be imminent. And so, again, we are hoping to have that done within 5 or 6 weeks, the septic system. And we are, let's see, the facilities committee, no, I guess I met with, we met with CCM regarding baseball, followed up with the baseball and came up with a roadmap going forward. I met with CCM and the circus to make sure that they understood that their use of Friendship Park was not at question here. That's not what we're debating. That we appreciate what they do for the community, and we just talked to them about ways that they can mitigate the damage to the field, and they were very happy to do so in the future. And then just put out a notice to see if I can get all interested baseball folks to a meeting. So we have representatives from the Little League, from this Legacy Group Foundation, and from CCM and the board. We're hoping to schedule a meeting in the 3rd week of October here. So we'll keep you posted on that. And then finally, I spent all day last week going around with our insurance inspector. It was good for me to do, to see what they're looking for, and then they give us a report on all the things that we need to correct, staff and student safety wise. So it was good. Good experience for me to do that. That's about it.
Okay. Nobody here from the Teachers Association?
I think Josh is online.
Oh, great. Okay, Josh.
Hi. Am I on? Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry I can't be there. I did miss the opening where the sun shining, and I do not have those ready yet, and I apologize for that. It's been a lot of scrambling around on my end. And so one of the things I've said is this is like the best year so far, but it's also just the most scrambled and all over the place. So I appreciate your patience. I know we had this last year, and that put negotiations at a hard moment last year. And so we're hoping to avoid that. So we'll definitely have that for November, and just appreciate everything that everybody's doing to make this stuff run, from admin, teachers, all of our support staff. I'm seeing such amazing things, and I'm getting good reports back from teachers, which is really good. So thank you all. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Anybody from classified?
I see no one.
Board trustee reports.
I don't have anything.
Nor I.
I just don't know if you saw the email. I just got an email from our solar folks that we are approved by DSA, but awaiting the actual paperwork. And I think they're planning on scheduling a construction start meeting hopefully next week or the week after.
Great.
Nothing else.
So, I guess parent community comment.
We already did that. So we can move on to 9.1.
Yeah, 9.1.
All right. So these are the easements in the tank location for the recycled water project that we would like approved. Make sure you see if you have any questions on those. This is an easement for the MCCSD to access the tanks. It's pretty straightforward.
So we need to pass.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to move forward. We can check that off.
Could I have a motion, please?
I'll move to approve. I dropped it here. Is there a number on it? No, just the what am I call it, the water project utility easements?
Recycled water, yep.
Recycle water project utility easements.
I second that.
Student trustee Otney,
Yes.
trustee Floyd,
Yes.
trustee Schaefer,
Yes.
trustee Morton,
Yes.
trustee Ohm,
Yes.
Okay. High school phase 3, the board will discuss small construction projects included in phase 3.
So, let's see, the locker rooms are almost done. They look great. The facilities committee will have a meeting on October 23rd, I believe it is. And at that point, I'd like to provide Ruben with some pretty clear direction about prioritizing the next projects. So we have some work at the wood shop that needs to be done, work on the tennis courts, and work on the band room and the PAC, the exterior of those buildings, and some doors. So I walked around with Ruben today to look at these possibilities, and so like I said, we'll have a meeting and look at what, with the rains coming, what he can get done before the rain comes, and then some indoor projects as well. So, but things are going well. They look great. The locker rooms look great.
Okay, 9.3, deferred maintenance plan update.
All right. So you can take one of these and pass it along. This never made it into your board packet. I apologize. So I'm going to present it right now.
I got two. You were now. Let me know. I got two, but I think
There's
you got
more than
them.
one document?
Yeah, I just got an extra one. Do you need one more? I got two.
Oh, I think they're plenty.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you let me share, please? Thanks. All right. So, let's see. So after 25, 26, we had 46,000, or for 25, 26, we're anticipating to have 46,000 left in the budget. So let's see. The first page is really kind of a bird's eye view of it, but we'll go down to the sites so I just point out some of the projects that we did that were deferred maintenance. Remember, a lot of our expenses, our big ones, came out of our phase 3 account. So let's see, $24,000, that was the tree removal at the Performing Arts Center, which was a big success. Family Tree Service did that for us, did a great job. Additional tree work was done on the tennis courts. We didn't want to take that out of phase 3 because we had stopped major spending on phase 3, so we took it out of deferred maintenance for $2,500. The $9,800 here, that is going to be for them coming back to resurface the gym floor, not resurface, but to re-wax it. And they're going to train our staff so we can do that going forward. That's the goal here. So it seems expensive, but
What is that machine we have? Is that just a cleaner? Or that's not a
Yeah.
waxing machine. That's just a
Right.
cleaning machine.
right, no one here knows how to do it. Nobody in our department.
Are we gonna have to buy equipment?
I don't think so. I think we may have it. Because we did it before, back when Rob was here, custodian, way back. We had some fire alarm repair. A panel was replaced at the K-8 school. And then this fuel tank removal at the K-8, we're having some problems locating various documents and permits, and so this has taken a long time, but the proposed price for that is about $43,000. So that is removing both of those tanks down at the K-8 school.
Have you found the tanks?
What?
Have you located the tanks?
Oh, they're sitting there. They're above ground.
Oh, they're above ground?
Yeah.
Because we had
one
underground
is-
tanks, too.
Well, the underground one that was here is now up there. So we don't have any other underground, do we?
No, above, this was.
Right.
No, we took them out of the K-8 school, but I'm just saying that we used to have underground
Right,
tanks.
now we have
Now we have
one from the high school that needs to be removed, and then we have one that was leaking that needs to be removed. And and they have to bring in a crane and go over the building to get it. And then we're thinking about doing the CompSci multi-purpose room floor. We can either do that in-house or contract with somebody. So nothing is planned in the future, as you can see, and that's that's not really feasible. So we do this report twice a year, and in the spring I'll come back with some projected projects for 26 through 29. But we're continuing to put in $50,000 a year into this fund, and going forward, the only thing that's in there is the unplanned $25,000 that we budget.
Okay. So Jason, at the CCM building, who's responsible for the picket fence? Is that our responsibility?
Well, we don't really need the fence, honestly. So we don't need it, but they need it for licensing, so we're working together on
So
the fence.
you recognize that it's in terrible deteriorating
So
condition?
Mendocino Rotary has volunteered to pay for some supplies, and they're providing some supplies, we are providing some lumber, and it's being worked on. There's a plan to get it done.
Okay.
To totally replace it, yeah. It's in rough shape. For years, the high school wood shop made pickets.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't think that's necessary right now, but that was pretty cool. Have our students making them. I think this needs approval.
Okay, could I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the deferred maintenance plan as presented.
Second?
I'll second.
Student trustee Otney?
Yes.
Trustee Boyd?
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer?
Yes?
Trustee Morton?
Yes.
Trustee Ohm?
Yes.
Okay, consideration of reduced workload program for 25-26. We have to declare whether certificated employees will be offered the reduced workload retirement option for the following year.
I think I'll keep my streak of 14 years intact here and recommend that we approve this. I just don't think that we should shut down the option. We always can deny requests in February, but we have to open it up for staff by November 15th. So
Okay,
I recommend that we open that up.
could I have a motion?
I'll move that we open up the reduced workload program for 25-26.
A second.
Student trustee Otney?
Yes.
Trustee Boyd?
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer?
Yes?
Trustee Morton?
Yes.
Trustee Ohm?
Yes.
Okay, approval authorization of certificated teaching assignments.
So we have two teachers at the middle school level who have enough units in their coursework, but they don't have the credential to be teaching that subject. So we apply and we grant a limited assignment authorization or option to allow them to do that, so they're not categorized as misassigned. And we've done this for years with these two staff members.
Could I have a motion?
I'll move to approve 9.5.
Second?
Student trustee Otney?
Here. Yes.
Trustee Boyd?
Yes.
Trustee Schaefer?
Yes?
Trustee Morton?
Yes.
Trustee Ohm?
Yes.
Okay, board policies, bylaws, and admin regulations. Information only. We have BB 9150, student board members. And does anybody have any comments on that?
Does anybody know if the governor signed the legislation regarding board member remuneration?
You know? Was that supposed to happen between?
Well, he
the
had to
last
sign or
2 weeks?
veto everything that was passed, and it was passed by the legislature. I was out of town, and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so these two board bylaws were discussed at our board workshop, and so they're information only now, and next time we'll bring it back as a first reading. In the meantime, we can probably research that, find out if that was signed.
Okay,
We can discuss how much power we want to give Max.
yeah, right. As much as possible. Anybody have any comments on those or questions? Okay, future agenda items. Anybody have anything to add to that? Okay, then I declare this meeting adjourned.
Shorty.
There's some signatures that you can mark.